welcome back. And in this episode, we finished the engine bay refresh in the DC2. But I do have to tell you, it is still not back together. I'm just shooting this early as a promise to myself and you guys, like, we're gonna get this done today. So at the end of this episode, it's gonna be looking 100% back together. Starting this one from the underside of the DC2, this time getting the oil out so we can get the oil pan off and change this gasket. Well, I had originally thought maybe I was going to reuse this oil and put it back in there because it's only had about 10 minutes of idle time on it. And you can see it came out quite black. So I think it's done its job of like kind of a flush because this was just the cheap conventional oil. I guess I'm just going to throw it away and we'll put some fresh stuff in there because I wouldn't feel good putting black oil like that back in the car, even though it probably is technically still just fine. And if you guys could smell this stuff, it smells just like that rancid old, super old gasoline. So yeah, it must have been taking in that like poorly burned fuel or whatever because it just reeks of old gasoline. Okay, oil pan out and a whole heap of cleaning later. There was a tiny little bit of like just sludgy old oil in the bottom of the pan. So just to have the oil pan cleaned out is a huge win, but kind of like a big B-series thing that you come across as you start reading about track setups is some sort of baffling in the oil pan. Spoon makes a full pan, but I don't have spoon money right now. So this is what I got. Just a little drop-in cover. It's got some bolts. You just drill holes, nut and bolt it in there. Oil can still flow through the edges here. There will be a gap along the edge there. So kind of the edge is just like that. So in the car it would sit like this, and under cornering, like this would be the right side, that would be the left side. Front of the car is going that way. So your slosh is going to get caught here or here by maybe braking, I don't know, acceleration. Anyway, this kind of just caps that lower sump area. When Spoon does theirs, they connect, that edge and this edge over here, so it's like plated off on this side and this side, and it's open in the middle, but kind of keeps the oil trapped down there. I think for now this is going to do the job, and it's going to greatly reduce how much open area it can slosh around. If you guys know, like, don't do that, then let me know. But otherwise, I think it's going to be a good start. We can always swap it out later. Doing the oil pan is really not too hard on these. So I'm going to get this thing put in there. Well, there is the kind of finished product. I'm going to take this out one more time and really thoroughly run a ton of water through the pan, because when you're drilling, you're making all those little metal shavings and they kind of just go everywhere. Moral of the story is, when you do it this way and you're drilling these holes, you're going to end up with more metal shavings in the pan. So in these little tight overlapped areas up here, I really want to make sure I get all of the oil out. I've ran a bunch of brake cleaner through. I don't see any more little shiny specks coming out, but just to really play it safe, I'm going to really, wash it out one more time really well. Then we'll get back in the car. All right, so to continue where we left off, the oil pan now has had a proper super soapy hot water bath. I think I got everything out of it, so I feel good about reassembling it. I'm gonna put the baffle plate in there. And just to note, I had to do some looking online. These are called like a metal insert lock nut. So it's not nylon like a nylock. It's just a metal little washer in there that creates a real bind on the bolt when you tighten it down. And they're kind of one-time use, but they're supposed to be they hold really strong, and they're anti-vibration like resistant, or they're vibration resistant. So kind of exactly what you want, especially in a 4-cylinder engine. So yeah, I'm gonna get this bolted down, locked into place. Got a new OEM oil pan gasket here, and then just gonna clean the gasket surface on the engine. We'll be ready to go. All right, so enough talking. I'm just gonna time lapse this thing and get it done. All the surprises from uncovering and taking stuff apart should basically be done. So let's just get it back together. I'll catch you guys on the flip side. Alright, so that's where I'm kind of finishing or stalling out for today. I kind of got snagged on something I really didn't expect, so that kind of, put a gear or a wrench in the gears for everything else. So here, I'll show you what's going on. So here is the AC bracket and the bolts. Because there was no pump mounted on here before, the bolt holes for mounting the pump were all corroded up and I guess rusty or whatever. One of them was okay. I was able to save one, and these two I'm gonna have to buy a chase for, or a chase, tap and die, anyway. So yeah, I'm gonna chase the threads and then I'll be able to mount the AC pump on there. This compressor I bought months ago, and I believe the auction just said like I had it sitting on the shelf and never needed it. So whether it's good or bad, I don't really know. But I don't have a core anyway, so if I was going to get a rebuilt unit, I need a core, so at least now I have a core. This was cheaper than a core charge, so is what it is. Hopefully it's good. And then I got the what is this, the tensioner swapped out. This bearing, the old one was definitely notchy, and so the new one is just silky smooth. I still need to torque that. So anyway, that AC bracket really snagged me up trying to chase those threads and dick around with stuff like that. I kind of wanted to do the AC bracket first and then kind of work my way up and out, because that seemed like the hardest thing to get to. So I didn't want to get too far ahead of that. So yeah, another trip to Astro. I got to find whatever tap I need for that, whatever pitch that might be, and then hopefully we'll be able to get that back on there and keep moving forward. And so that's where we'll be when we pick it up the next time you guys see it. As you saw in the time lapse, we are super close now. Just a few more details, it's gonna be back together, and then we'll do like a final explanation, grand reveal, whatever. But first, I need a battery tie down. All right, so here is the old battery tie down, and that's just not gonna work for the refreshed engine bay. It's just gonna look really out of place. So that's out of here. And instead we have from Limit Break Auto, good dudes over in the UK, long time supporters of the channel. I really appreciate these guys. We have this box here, battery monitor. What's in the box? So this is kind of a 2-in-1 deal. Battery tie down, plus you push this little button here. That's why there's cords hanging off of it. Push this button here and that'll read the voltage of your battery, so you can always check your electrical system. Really cool, clean, neat, and add some function to the bay as well. So let's get that installed. Also got to note, like, props on the packaging. It's good cover. Also, like, foam cut match to the layout of the product and logo, Limit Break. Man, as someone who's done some product stuff in the past, I never put enough emphasis into packaging. This is really top notch. Good job, guys. So let's get this installed, and you can see it's it's taller. It's raised up a little bit there. So they include these spacers so you can adjust the height and get it to where it's tall enough. I don't know if we need them or not for sure. They have measurements on the website. I measured it. It looks like we need them, so we'll just try and get it on there. Oh, just a bit too short. All right, Ninja Edit from the future. I had to cut down my big long like J-hooks. I added the turnbuckles, and then I could get the screw in up on top. Got it all fastened down and it's wired. So let's check some voltage. Boom, just like that. Push the button, you can check it, keep an eye on it. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Big thanks to the guys at Limit Break Auto. I'll put it in there. Go check it out and get yourself one if you'd like. I just see this as like a dipstick for the charging system. So if you're having a problem on the track, when you're driving on the street, if it's just acting weird, boop, you can just check it real quick, make sure your alternator's working, and kind of make sure your voltage is where it should be. Because if you start seeing something really low, you're not going to be chasing other problems when hey, I got a voltage situation here. So now let's hop back to the past and continue on. Alright, so next up, if you noticed in the time lapse, I changed out the air intake tube. I'll show you what I got going on there. Okay, so here is the stock intake tube for a SIRG or a GSR, a B18C one with that funky intake manifold. You can see all the convoluted curves in it because the throttle body comes out at a lower position down there from a Type R, right? Up to the airbox. And so if you're just tuning in for the first time of this little refresh, this is why I needed to replace it. Huge crack in it. So out with that guy and in with the Integra Type R intake tube. I'm not sure if these are discontinued or not. The local dealership said yes, they are discontinued, but I found one brand new on Yahoo for 5,000 yen. If it didn't work out, I wasn't too worried because at some point I want to switch to an ITR intake manifold, so at least I would have had it. But it will work with your GSR, SIRG intake manifold. Here's what I had to do to make it fit. You can see everything's lining up. Like the clamp is clamped on, no problem. It's not in a weird angle. I got this hardline tube to go back in, and it's still connected to the valve cover as it should be. You know, smooth track and angle all the way up to the airbox here. The airbox is mounted in all three of the original locations, connected to the air duct down below. Like 100% OEM location, didn't have to modify that at all. The only thing I had to change was, let me pop this open. The GSR and the ITR air filter is the same, so this diameter of the, I don't know, inlet to the tube was the same, which worked out fine. If I pop it out of the location, basically if you want to run an ITR intake arm or air intake tube on your GSR or SIRG, just cut that little locating tab there. You can leave that one or cut them both, then you have free range to clock it. And then you just clock your filter in your airbox and you'll have a straight shot, no kinks, lines up perfect intake. So the intake tube was a huge worry of mine. Again, big thanks to lowball Zach, put it in there. He bailed me out again with all my silly questions. He told me the ITR one would work, just might need to modify some stuff, and like you saw, like really no modifications. Really stoked on that, and it's supposed to have better flow. It's a little larger diameter. It's a really smooth track all the way to the intake, so maybe half an extra horsepower. And another big shout out to Zach for doing the valve cover for me. That saved me so much time so I could focus on other stuff. And he even offered to paint one of his valve covers and send it to me, and then I could return mine to him later. But I'm kind of weird about certain things, and I was like, I kind of wanted to do the actual one that was on this car because it's been on this journey, so I appreciate him accommodating that. But also check out what he threw in here. So as you can see, we have the stock oil fill cap on there. It's black, it blends in, you know, kind of whatever. But because he's a connoisseur of rare OEM Honda parts, he threw in a Civic Type R, EK9 Civic Type R oil cap. And honestly, I had to ask him what it was because I knew there's a chrome version. I just didn't know what it came from. But yeah, it's from his own personal EK9. He threw it in there, which is really cool. So you guys let me know what you think. Do you like the chrome bling or stock black? With the tower bar in there, you know, kind of shined up, and then the spark plug cover as well. I think the bling kind of gives it some pop. So yeah, you guys let me know what you think. And I'm curious, why do these go upside down? Even the OEM one, when it screws in there, it's upside down. Like, why Honda? Why would that not be clocked the right way? My OCD is kind of going off about that. OEM black plasticness, OEM EK9 bling. You guys let me know. Yeah, so there you go. LBZ Lowball Zach. Check him out. Rare parts, don't stagnate. The dude loves rare OEM Honda parts. So yeah, definitely hit him up if that's your thing. And he included these interior mirror covers that I needed. They do have some tweeter holes, but I got nothing, so it's better than that. So yeah, big thank you to Zach for helping a guy bring a DC2 back to life. All right, so I think she's fully buttoned up now. Let's drop that beautiful B-roll here. So I hope you guys are as stoked in that as I am. What an epic transformation. Like, I can't believe how good this car looks. So I can't start it today. The exhaust is not hooked up. It still has a hole in the muffler. There's no fluids in it. So I still have all that stuff to do. And so yeah, we will continue on with that aspect of it, either in the next part or whatever. Timing belt's all done. Valve lash is set. It's got new plugs. It's got a full tune-up, plug wires, distributor, air filter, intake tube, man, you name it. A bunch of stuff has been cleaned up. A bunch of stuff has been added back. Like we got our air conditioning, got our power steering back. Just basically as near an OEM reset as I could do on this thing, just to kind of bring it back to life. Seeing the engine bay look this good like really gives me motivation for like the rest of the car. Like popping the hood now, I kind of like just smile every time. A lot of work, a lot of parts, a lot of cleaning, a lot of painting, but you know, anyone can do it. It's not, I didn't have any special tools or anything like that, so it's really an achievable thing for anyone to do. So even if you're new to the channel and you're wondering what has gotten into bringing this car back to life up to this point, that's all on the channel in the DC2 playlist. But just as a quick synopsis, this was a sight unseen Yahoo Auctions Japan buy. It looked like a good deal and it's needed a ton of work. Best I can tell, it's been sitting for 6+ years untouched, and the previous owner, the guy that I bought it from, bought it just for a parts car. It looked good in pictures, but it has taken a lot to get to this point, and we're almost there. We're kind of seeing the light at the end of the tunnel now. Enjoying the journey. Hopefully we'll be doing some time attack and some grip driving with this soon. But right now it's the quest to bring it back to life and get it shock in or road legal, get it through vehicle inspection, and then we'll hit the track. So ultimate goal, sub 1 minute lap at Scuba. We still have a lot of work to do to get there. So yeah, join the journey. Like, comment, share, subscribe. If somebody else you know enjoys this sort of content, these builds, please share the video. That really helps me out. And I try to upload videos twice a week. It's either gonna be DC2 build content currently, or you know, machine check type videos looking at cars, event videos, either grip or drifting. I do like both. I am an S chassis guy at heart who's dove into Hondas with this car. So yeah, you'll see what I'm about on the channel. Check it out. Thank you guys. I've been sticking with every episode and give me all the advice and words of encouragement. That really does put fuel in my tank to kind of keep pushing through. All right, so yeah, until the next one, take care. Much love. Be well.